Kids getting bullied has become a national conversation. It's in our schools and neighborhoods, and it eventually affects all of us. Joining us to talk about tackling the issue here at home is our own First Lady Nicole Stanton and David Covington from Magellan Health Services. Welcome to you both.
Thank you.
And Mrs. Stanton, Nicole, let's start with you. This is an issue near to your heart.
It is.
Please tell us what prompted you to get involved in the anti-bullying efforts?
Well, it is an issue that's personal to me. My own brother, he was 8 years older than I was, but when he was in high school, he was actually bullied. Kids would chase him home from school, throw rocks at him, call him names. And then when he got older in high school, he was actually physically assaulted by a group of boys that had been bullying him. So this is an issue that's very near and dear to my heart. And when Greg, my husband, was elected mayor, when he was inaugurated, I decided that I wanted to take on an issue that was affecting the city and really the state. And so I chose bullying because of my personal passion for it.
Well, thank you for doing that. And October 5th, you have had a seminar on anti-bullying,
right.
And it had a different angle to it about the bystanders.
Yes.
Tell us about that.
Sure. What we wanted to do, and when I say we, it's not just me. I have a group of people who have been helping me, a group of volunteers from the community, and I couldn't do this alone. It's a summit, and we're providing it to about 350 educators, and we are really trying to focus on the bystander and really trying to demonstrate to schools things about policies, things about programs, things about procedures that they can do that will really empower bystanders. Because traditionally you have the bully and the victim, and really the victim is pretty powerless. That's probably why they were chosen to be a victim in the first place. It's really the people who witnessed that incident who we need to step in and encourage them to report it to a teacher or grown-up or someone that can help. And let me give you a real specific example. One of the things that we'll be talking about are school policies for schools, elementary schools, middle schools, high schools. One of the things that I've seen are school policies that say we adopt a zero tolerance policy against bullying. And that sounds terrific, and it sounded terrific to me. But as we started to look into it, the research shows that schools that have a zero tolerance policy for bullying, even though it sounds good, it makes us all feel good, it actually works against trying to motivate these bystanders. Because if you think about it, if you and I are friends and I see you bullying him, I'm less likely to report you if I think that you're going to get kicked out of school if I report your bad behavior. And we want me to report that behavior. That's maybe the only way that we're able to help him.
And that's a really good point. People assume the system is taking care of it. They don't have to take personal responsibility because somebody else is handling that. David, you're with Magellan, and you have a background in suicide prevention.
I do.
How do these all relate?
Well, they overlap. You know, bullying is not something that's innocent or just leads to, you know, a lack of focus or poor self-esteem. It can lead to depression. 1 in 4 kids is bullied. Some groups have a higher risk than others. Lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgendered youth face a higher risk of being bullied. And when that bullying occurs, it can lead to depression, it can lead to suicide. Dr. Madeline Gould out of Columbia University did a study a few years ago and found that of those being bullied, 1 in 3 reported being depressed, and about 11% reported having had suicidal thoughts or made a suicidal attempt. So on any given day, today for example, we would expect about 160,000 kids are staying home because they're afraid of being bullied.
At school. Wow. When we talk about the suicide, the depression, and the kids who are being impacted, what age are we talking about?
Boy, I mean, it really runs the spectrum. Most recently, I just dealt with a 5-year-old. A grandmother reached out to me whose 5-year-old was being bullied. I would leave it to Mr. Covington to tell us for sure, but I think that 7th and 8th grade time period, the middle school time period, seems to be some of the worst. I think that's a difficult time for adolescents. But as young as preschool and 5 years old, I've seen actually more than one 5-year-old who's been dealing with bullying, and that's just, it's unacceptable at any age, but for children that young and that innocent, it's really heartbreaking. That's their first exposure to, in some cases, to organized education. And we want them to have a love of learning and a real strong desire to go to school. And when you have
afraid of it.
Exactly, you have a 5-year-old who's scared to go to school, who's scared to ride the bus.
Yeah.
We just can't have that.
Mrs. Stanton is spot on, and that middle school age can be such a challenging time. But bullying is something that can happen in almost any context and any age. It's not something that just occurs on the playground. It can occur in the social networking, in a college dormitory, in the workplace, and at home. And now we're seeing this because of the ubiquitous nature of smartphones and iPads and computers, that it takes on a more challenging, threatening feel, and it can also be anonymous, which makes it, again, just feel worse for the person experiencing it.
Parental impact. What do we know about parental impact? Are the 1 in 4 kids who are, in which statistic was it? I want to make sure I get this right.
1 in 4 kids are experiencing bullying,
Being
90%
bullied.
of those
Okay.
LGBT youth.
And of those who are doing the bullying, what do we know about the parental impact on those kids' behavior?
Who are actually doing the bullying?
Doing the bullying.
Are you saying what kind of involvement do the parents have?
Pro and con.
Well, I mean, first of all, a lot of times kids who become bullies are being bullied themselves.
home.
It's just a very vicious cycle.
Yeah.
And one of the things that we know is that really as good as it is for kids peer-to-peer to help one another out, the most recent research shows that we really can't affect this issue without adult involvement, and that includes parents. So although our summit that I've been working on is focused on educators, we know that we also have to get buy-in from parents, because kids are only at school for, of course, a portion of the day, and we really need to get the word out to parents as well. That's going to be a next step for me.
Perfect, which leads us to your new website, correct?
Yes.
What is that? I know we're going to have it under the screen.
It's www.stopbullyingaz.org.
Thank you, Nicole. Thank you for your efforts.
No.
Tremendous.
It's my pleasure and my honor.
Fantastic. And David, thank you, Magellan, for being a sponsor.
Thank
and
you.
for
We're
being
thrilled
part of
with the
this.
partnership.
Great. Thank you. That's it for this month's Metro Matters. If you have comments or questions about today's show or any city issue, please call my office at 602-262-7447 or visit my website at phoenix.gov/District 4, or you can connect with me on Twitter or Facebook. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time on Metro Matters.